Fake carrots. Fake fruit. Fake. Fake. Fake grapefruits. Fake. Liar. You.
Well, I'm already loving the technical difficulties with the start. Literally, folks, makes no sense. Could be, well, pedo Hitler could be out there watching us, controlling what's going on. But I'll tell you what, he's going to be watching you anyways. That's right, that infrastructure bill that they just passed. What was it, $1.7 trillion? Well, anyways, they're going to put kill switches in your cars. That's right. From now on, new vehicles must have a kill switch. I wonder who's going to be in charge of that. You know what's amazing, though, is all the way back in the early 90s, I remember I talked to my employer. He got one of these Mitsubishi Mirage things or some shit, and it had a computer on there that could tell the mechanics how fast you were going and how many RPMs. And I thought, you know, that sounds like something the government can get a hold of if they wanted. You know, why are we doing that? But that was 30 years ago. They've finally gotten around to where, well, if they can put a kill switch in there and your car's hooked up to the internet, they can find out where you're at, what laws you're breaking. They can do all kinds of shit to us. Thank you. Thank you, big tech. Right? We got Big Brother Biden going to watch over us in the new SHTF police state. It's not going to get better until we demand liberty. You know what? Just tell them, look, I don't want your new fucking cars. We'll just play Cuba and just keep buying old ratty pieces of shit and fixing them because we don't want their crap, right? They're going to make it what? So you can't disable that? The government has a right to see what you're doing at any moment? Unbelievable, folks. It is SHTF. This is the Prepared Mind channel, and I say prep to action. Tell these fucking people what you think of them. We can't trust them. For real. Can you trust them? Get your questions down below. We got Jolene. We got Ooman. We're all in the house. I think Ooman is actually, well, out of the woods and back into I see you, buddy. He's back into good territory. He's battling, I think, an ice storm, though. Anyways, folks, can we trust these people with power? I don't think we can trust people in government. Joe Biden, Nancy Pelosi, Kevin McCarthy. Yeah, well, he's a Republican. No, he's not. He is a pretender. We can't trust these people, and we can't trust people in big business either. I mean, this is unbelievable. This is just big pharma, right? Big pharmaceutical executive. Guess what she is convicted of? Right? Killing her own son. If she is willing to kill her own son as a big pharmacy executive, what do you think these executives in big pharma think of you and your family? Anyways, Supreme Court Justice Sonia Sotomayor revoked her bail, said none for you. So guess what? This woman found dead hours later. Was she Hillary cited? Was she pharma cited? You know, did she take too many aspirins? I mean, dead. I wonder, and I don't know anything about this case or this woman. I know nothing, right? Could she have been framed? I don't know. At this point, folks, look at the January 6th situation. Can anyone be framed? Look at 2020 with BLM and Antifa burning, looting, murdering the whole nation. Very few convictions. Can we trust these people? They can frame you or they can just let you go. Unbelievable. Well, it gets better. But wait, there's more. We keep hearing about this pandemic. And we keep hearing from these radical left-wing idiots in Hollywood and the mainstream media and in politics. We keep hearing from them that it's a pandemic of the unjuicinated. In other words, if you're a pure blood, if you haven't gotten your Jim Jones juice, you're the bad one. You're the reason disease is still out here. Well, folks, a trusted media source, not in my world, but supposedly a trusted media source, has provided some data that suggests that the Jim Jones juice may be causing variants to evolve. How can it cause them to evolve? By weakening people's immune system and letting them build resistance to these weak immunity juicinated people? Folks, it's not a pandemic of the unjuicinated. It's a pandemic of the Jim Jones juiced. It's a pandemic of the boosted. Now, my prediction, one of my big predictions on the morning video, Zero Dark 30, was, guess what? Oh, yeah. 2023, we're going to see a reinstitution of lockdowns, and we're going to see an enormous number of people getting sick. But I don't think it's going to be me or you. And if you did get the big juice jabberoo, I really hope you detoxed and did all you could to get that shit out of your system as quick as possible. Not giving it a chance to roam around in your body and reprogram your system. Very, very scary. Very scary indeed. So, get your questions down below because I'm going to do my monologue here, and then I'm going to turn it over to you guys. Now, if you're on YouTube watching this after, you didn't get to see it live if you're on YouTube. But if you're on the thepreparedmind.club, $2 a month, or you're on Subscribestar, $2 a month. A premium service for $2 a month. 7 cents a day, and Monday through Friday, every day of the week, I do a live video where I do a monologue and then a Q&A with you. $2 a day. And it helps support the work we're doing here, keeping people informed about what's really happening. I mean, people go, well, yeah, I heard that last week, man. What do I need to keep watching this shit for? Oh, you need to pay attention because it's coming. It is absolutely coming for all of us. Now, if you miss one show, no, you're not going to die. If you miss a week, if you never watch another one of my shows, that doesn't mean you're going to die. It just means you're missing a lot of information that I think is incredibly valuable, because here at the Prepared Mind Network, guess what we do? We scour everything all across the internet, all around the world, and bring it to you so you don't have to. What an amazing service. Only in 2023, right? Thank you, internet. But fuck you to YouTube and social media and big tech. Why? Because they're screwing us. They're screwing us. We used to do everything for free all the time because advertisers would pay for all of our needs. They would cover all of our expenses. Not so much anymore because they've cut everything. Whoosh, 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 and they're doing it again. Folks, every time we play a clip, just a little clip, maybe one like this. We play that clip and YouTube is now going to say this video is a copyright infringement on whoever created that, and they'll take any ad revenue and they'll send it off to someone else. They're screwing everybody because they don't want the message out. but the message is important, folks. So your support is critical and incredible. Now, get this. We've been talking about missiles being sent over to Ukraine from the U.S., advanced missiles, the HIMARS system. We were told Ukraine from the U.S. How about that? Interactive TV. We were told these HIMARS are like a medium-range missile. Well, guess what they've done? Ukraine has used it. They've shot it all the way into the barracks, to Russian barracks in Donetsk. And they're saying that this is probably the biggest death toll that the Russians have suffered since the war has started. Huge, huge death toll. And it is U.S. military supplied HIMARS that have done the damage. Can you imagine what damage is going to be done if the U.S. gives Patriots to the Ukraine military? How far will they shoot those into Russia? Oh, past Luhansk, past Donetsk. Will they hit Moscow if they can? Folks, this is World War III ratchet, and they're ratcheting it up hard. I mean, already, yes. SHTF, all the way. It is the 2nd of January, 2023, and they're already pushing harder than ever. But I tell you what, Russia's going to respond. Do you think they're going to allow that? Not a fucking chance. They're not going to allow something like this to go unanswered. They will respond. And it's going to get ugly. Much uglier than it has been. And it's been pretty damn ugly. It has been pretty damn ugly. Don't know what's going to happen. Now, I'm not saying Russia hasn't inflicted their own damage. I'm not saying Russia hasn't gone after the infrastructure, hasn't gone after the military in Ukraine. Oh, they have. But, right, if you get hit by the enemy, you're going to punch back twice as hard every time. That's what war is. This truly is what war is. It is, right, and always has been about killing people and breaking shit. That's what war is. It's not about pussyfooting around and bullshitting. That's not what war is. It isn't. War is about something much, much worse. It's about killing people and killing all of them that you can. Get ready, folks. It is going to get a lot worse. Get your questions down below. Jolene is going to be ready. Now, we got a lot more going on, folks. 2023. Fauci, folks, lied in his opening testimony way back in 2020, the day our world all changed. Fauci bullshitted, exaggerated grossly, folks, in order to force Congress to start screaming and yelling, in order to scare Americans, in order to give the mainstream media what they needed. So that what? So that they could lock us all down. Right? Right? Fauci said, this has mortality of 10 times that. Right? Speaking of the 0.1% flu, right? He said it was 10 times worse. And that is the reason why I want to emphasize we have to stay ahead of the game in preventing this. What did he want to prevent? The spread of it. What did he claim? That cerveza bug spreads better than anything else. It spreads better than SARS. He was saying it spreads better than the 2002, right? SARS. Right? Unbelievable. He was trying to say it was 10 times more lethal than the seasonal flu. What did we find out? He was full of shit. He was lying. But what are they doing now? Right? What are they doing now? They used, back then, folks, predictive programming. They had everyone all lined up and scared after years and years of swine flu, bird flu, mosquito flu. What was the one? Zika. They were trying every year. It was something, and they finally pulled the trigger and got something big going. The mainstream media was ready to go, folks. And don't you remember the day after they said we're locked down, they had public service announcements already professionally made with actors behind glass and children sad and grandma and grandpa behind glass. And we can do it together. We can get through this. Remember that shit? With the sad music in the background to make everyone scared and sympathetic. Like they started playing these commercials right away to scare everyone into believing how dangerous this was. Oh, it's 10 times worse than anything else. They had nothing, folks. They had nothing. They just bullshitted everyone. You, me, everyone. You think that's going to change? I don't think it's going to change at all. I really don't. What do you want to talk about, folks? It's on. It is just started, right? Now, I brought you some good news the other day. I said the Attorney General in the U.S. Virgin Islands is going to sue J.P. Morgan, Deutsche Bank, over the Jeffrey Epstein sex trafficking scandal, the fact that those banks acted as money laundering instruments for what they knew or had to have known was a sex trafficking scheme. Well, guess what? The Attorney General is a woman. The Attorney General is a woman of color. That's right, a woman of color as the Attorney General. We should be applauding that, right? Well, sure, why not? If she's competent, guess what? She's been fired. Right. Oh, you want to do your job? You're fired. I didn't know that the Attorney General could be fired. Who has the authority to fire someone? Now, in all the states, now again, the U.S. Virgin Islands is not a state, right? Not a state. So we have our attorney generals elected in all of the states, but, you know, it's we the people. So she accused the banks of turning a blind eye. Well, the governor of the Virgin Islands, Albert Bryan Jr., fired her on the weekend. That seemed kind of interesting to me. You know, maybe she's an appointed position. We got a lot of shenanigans. I wonder who it was that gave the governor a call and said, just what the hell are you doing down there? You're going to put the spotlight on them again? All of Jeffrey Epstein's customers that we've been hiding over the Hunter Biden laptop, the Anthony Weiner laptop, right? The Jeffrey Epstein case, the Jizzy Maxwell case, all of the young women who have been suing the Epstein estate. You want to shine the spotlight back on all that? Well, you're fired. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. So that bit of good news, gone. Just as we predicted, folks. These people have run amok in government and they don't give a fuck. And it doesn't take Dr. Seuss to make a rhyme that makes sense all the time. Wow. Now, what are we doing correctly? They still haven't elected the new Speaker of the House. The Speaker of the House is elected, right, by congressmen. Well, it is my understanding that the jackass Kevin McCarthy, who thinks he's going to be Speaker of the House, has already moved his office into the Speaker's office. They don't vote until tomorrow, but this jackass is already doing that. However, right, is it a foregone conclusion? Well, those that are holding out, that have the real votes that are going to deny him, are saying no. A true conservative will be elected, not Kevin McCarthy. This guy even went on Fox News. Bob Good. take that back. He did not go on Fox News. Oh, I'm funny that way. No, he went on the War Room with Steve Bannon. Anyways, my mistake. Yeah, Fox News hosting someone that wants to have another opinion. Whoops-a-daisy, what was I thinking there? Should have had a V8. Unbelievable. So yeah, Representative Good and others are saying, no, not going to happen. Good for Bob. Bob, you did good, Bob Good. Keep it up. I don't want to cut some fat deal that Kevin McCarthy is going to say, well, yeah, I promise to be a conservative. I do. I promise. Scout's honor. No, let's put someone there that is a true American, not a fucking rhino, and not some other no-name rhino. Right? How about someone like, I think it'd be great to have Big Marge as Speaker of the House. I think that'd be freaking great. Don't you? That would just piss them off. Marge Taylor Greene. I want that bitch in there. She's tough as fuck. Okay, folks, let us move on if we shall. Get your comments down below. 9 minutes and counting, and you, folks, counting down. It'll be your turn to step up and direct this show. If you're on the preparedmind.club, 7 cents a day supports all that we do. And folks, we do a lot behind the scenes as well. We don't control the airlines. They're still fucked. They're still fucked. Now, we predicted that there's going to be some fallout for Virgin Islands. Came true. We predicted there's going to be a lot more shit over Kevin McCarthy. We predicted a long time ago that there's going to be serious downstream, long-term health consequences. And we predicted that they will not go away, that they're going to continue to push the Jim Jones juice and then maybe even lockdowns. So we predicted that. Well, guess what? Someone else has a prediction, right? The certified smart guys have an earthquake prediction for San Francisco to LA, offshore, potential big ass earthquake, folks. Now, all of a sudden, we can predict earthquakes. Folks, you know what I have to say? If you're on the West Coast, this is a false flag alert. Try this. Ocean-based nuke. False flag alert. They could say it's the San Juan de Fulca, I believe is the name of the fault line offshore. Yeah, they could splash the fuck out of the West Coast. Now, San Francisco, it's inside the bay, but that doesn't mean the water couldn't just pile up and just pour in and fill it. That would be horrific. How about Los Angeles, San Diego? All of a sudden, we can predict really big earthquakes. What an appropriate time for a huge natural disaster on the West Coast to distract the hell out of everyone, to scare the hell out of everyone, folks. Unbelievable. Let's do this. I want to get back to this. This is good, right? I talked about Fauci and his fibbing and bullshit. I'm going to give you part 2, right? China, right? Are we getting real issues, or are they giving us just bullshit story and lie and fabricated false flag after false flag to keep us scared, right? Are you aware right now that China has an outbreak they claim that's overwhelming them, stacking the body bags? Now, if you recall, they gave us that story back in 2020. And then the rest of the world locked down, right? Iran, then Italy, then Europe and the United States. And while we were locked down, all of a sudden we started hearing about China literally partying. Like they just quit their lockdowns. They quit all their bullshit for a little while. Right? Once they got the rest of the world locked down, they started throwing fucking parties over there. Well, then they stopped that again. They're like, oh, I guess the world sees what we're doing. And then Florida said, hey, you know what? Fuck it. Right? And Florida said, fuck it. We're fine. They had lower death rates than everyone else, even though Florida, I mean, half the people down there are fucking geriatric. This whole thing is bullshit, folks. They're trying to lock us down again. It is coming. They're going to use China as the excuse. Oh, you bet. China is the excuse. Now imagine this. Just cast your mind. They say China's got a huge outbreak. We didn't shut it down fast enough. They've come over here. The whole world is getting infected. We have new cerveza bug strains. We have variants. Oh my God, that makes Omicron. Right, next one is going to be the Godzilla variant, and it'll just crush everyone. The bullshit, folks. And then if people start dying, they're going to say, "See, it is deadly. It is deadly." But I'm going to forecast this: the people who are going to be killed, who will contract it, who will suffer greatly, are those who are juicinated. But they're going to blame you for it. They're going to blame me. They're going to blame everyone. Are the people of America going to say, oh, okay, yeah, we're going to lock down again. We'll flatten the curve for you, Dr. Fauci. Oh, the media, if there's an outbreak, they're going to demand that Dr. Fauci unretire and come back out and save the world. And he will reluctantly come out and say, well, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to save everybody. If you're all going to pick on me and make fun of me and criticize me, he's going to want to come out and be the hero. Guess what? You are going to be blamed for what's going on. The same way Cher blamed everyone, the same way Sean Penn wants to say you're a criminal if you're not juicinated. Right? If you refuse to lock down again because this is bullshit, right out the gate, folks, 2023. 3 years later, they're going to keep pulling their bullshit. Well, you want a little bit more? I'll give you just a little bit more, then it's going to be your turn. It's going to be your turn. Get your questions into Jolene right now. Sending a little communication there. Hey, did you know that in Berlin, Germany, their New Year parties turned into fucking mayhem? Basically turned Berlin into a war zone. Brazil is its own problem. Right? Now, I don't ever remember growing up having problems in Germany like this, right? I know that ethnic Germans, that's their country where they come from and they've been for thousands of years. Ethnic Germans. When they celebrate the New Year, right, everything is fine. But the migrant morons there are destroying Germany, and they're using the New Year holiday as their excuse. When in the 1980s or the 1990s, or even the 2000s, when did you ever hear that the German people would terrorize and destroy their own cities and country? So this New Year, folks, just a day ago, in Berlin, police firefighters responded to 3,943 distinct incidents. 15 firefighters, 18 police officers injured. According to the German media, there was, quote, particularly bad attacks in the hotspot neighborhoods of Kreuzberg and Neukölln with a high proportion of migrants. Yeah, no shit. High proportion. Yeah, in other words, they've imported stupidity into sane, rational, decent, moral Christian nations like Germany, like the Netherlands, like Sweden, like Norway, like England. They've imported all of these scumbags, and now they're terrorizing the country. And they're using, folks, everything and anything as an excuse to riot, right? To terrorize others. Unbelievable, folks. Unfucking believable. And I can't let this one go, folks. Newt Gingrich. Newt lost it and started bitching and complaining and saying that, well, these hardcore Republicans, these Make America Great ones, they're kamikazes. They will sink the whole Republican Party. Do you think so? Right? Do you think the kamikaze Republicans, isn't that appropriating Japanese World War II culture? Right? Kamikazes were suicide dive bombers. Sorry, Newt, you're not going to fucking get away with this one, buddy. Homie, don't play that game. I don't give passes to people who sell out on philosophy. These people that are saying no to Kevin McCarthy, they're standing up with integrity. They're standing up for the people. They're standing up for the Constitution, and they're standing and obeying their oaths. And doing all of those things is not being a kamikaze, a suicide bomber. They want real Republican leadership. They're not kamikazes. They're willing to stand up against the storm of rhino, that is Republican in name only, these rhino scum, right? If you're willing to stand up to those scumbags, that's not kamikaze. That's cleaning up your own party. And that's what we need to have done. It's what every single patriotic American should do, is stand up and fix this country, especially congressmen and especially senators. And fuck Kevin McCarthy and fuck Turtles McConnell in the Senate. These guys are sellouts. This idea that real, genuine, American, Constitution-loving patriots are going to sink the whole Republican Party, I don't fucking think so. I think the Republicans in this country have had it with these rhinos, these sellouts, these 50-50ers, right? They want to go 50% of the time one way and 50% of the time they want to support Democrats. Unfucking believable. Unbelievable. Now let's do this. We are at the 30-minute mark. I'm going to turn it over to you guys. I've got more to talk about myself, but get your questions in and we'll see what you want to discuss.
Are you ready?
Woo! That was a big ass monologue, folks. That was a big one. You can ask questions about the past, make predictions about the future, comments about where we're at today, any news story you want to discuss. This is your chance because it is the Q&A. You want to talk about a person, you want to talk about an event, any of that. It's up to you. If you are a paying member on the thepreparedmind.club or subscribestar.com, you can come right in here, pop a question in there, and Jolene will grab it, put it on the screen, and we will discuss. So let's start right there. Jolene, well, it's none other than Cottage Farm stepping up. She says, Trump and Big Marge are supporting McCarthy. I wonder why. Well, I wonder as well. I would rather see Big Marge. And I would rather see Trump as the Speaker of the House. Either of those two would just drive the Democrats nuts. I don't know what the hell's going on. I don't know what makes them think Kevin McCarthy represents the Make America Great Again movement. The guy he lives with a major, massive Democrat scumbag. I don't know how you could live or stand to be in the same room as someone like that. I mean, I can sit down and socialize a little bit with them and ask them what's going on. And I do that from time to time because I want to talk to them. But there's not a whole lot you can talk about with them politically, folks, because the first thing that happens is someone gets pissed off. Yet McCarthy can live with one of these scumbags and he's going to represent you and I. I don't know how that's possible. And I don't want to hear, he's just so intelligent and brilliant. He can do it. He sells out every time. He gives in. What did he do? Well, we had Madison Cawthorn, Republican, I believe a veteran, right? A good guy who didn't like what he saw. He saw a bunch of perverted, sick freaks in the Washington circuit who offered him sex and drugs at one of their orgies. And he was like, I'm not liking that at all. He was going to expose it. And McCarthy came out and said, hey, started warning him. You better back off, pal. You better think about it. Well, Madison went forward. Unfortunately, he never named names. That was his fucking mistake. But guess what? Yeah, they got rid of him. Madison Cawthorn, you're out of Congress. That's what Kevin McCarthy is all about. The status quo. Maintaining a weak Republican Party in Washington, D.C., so the scumbag leftists, the socialists, the fascists, the communists can control the whole damn system. Whole damn system. I don't know, Cottage Farm. I don't know why Big Marge would support him unless they got something on her. And they may. I don't know what they have. I just don't know. What do you think out there? Get your questions down below. But I'll tell you what, folks, a lot of this country is saying we don't like what the hell's going on. No, the country is not moderate. The country wants freedom. Now, there's a sandwich shop out there called Jimmy John's. Never had any of their food. Just haven't. But the founder of Jimmy John's, Jimmy John, I can't say his last name, Luaitaud, strange name. Jimmy John Luaitaud, basically, he threw it out there, folks. He went after Democrats and the deep state and called them out, right? He said the Democrats and the deep state, this is what he said, quote, they weaponized the federal courts, the IRS, the CIA, and the FBI. Completely weaponized it. And look what they did to President Trump. Like him or not, what they did to him was horrific. That's right. This entire thing has been a fucking sham. Right? Now, Jimmy John, he just went nuclear on his sandwich sales. He's going to make good friends on the side of freedom, and he's going to make lifelong enemies of the Democrats and the socialists because he called them out on it. He's not buying their shit. I'm not buying their shit. I'm not buying the shit that the left is selling, and I'm not buying the shit that McCarthy and McConnell are selling. They've got no integrity if they continue to do what they do, and that's exactly what they've done. They have controlled the purse strings, and they got more Democrats elected than should have. Right? They basically gave up the Senate and almost gave up the House of Representatives right back to the Democrats. After all that's gone on, these fucking people. But hey, you and I and business owners, billionaires, right? Jimmy John, he's got a lot of money on the line. He just put his dick out there on the table. Is he going to get smashed? Right? It could. Right? This reminds me of 1776, when the greatest statesman in the world, in the United States, well, in the colonial Americas, got together and they wrote a letter called the Declaration of Independence. And the wealthiest man here, John Hancock, was the first to sign it, and he signed it big. So the king would not need his glasses to see who the fuck was talking to him. Jimmy John, he just threw it out there. Right? Who else? Right? Mike Lindell, Mr. My Pillow. Folks, there's a lot of rich people out there, and they're throwing it out there. They're putting it on the table. It is on. There's no way to win. They know, millionaire or not, Jimmy John, if you're a millionaire or a multimillionaire, you're going to go down. You will lose. If you're a billionaire, you will lose if you're not part of their political system. Ultimately, folks, they're all going to lose if they do not support all of this scum. If you want to be free, you've got to play their game. You got to play their game or you're going to lose. And so if you've got integrity, you've got to stand up, and they're standing up now and they're starting to say it. I would like, and I wish Joe Rogan would do more. But, mainstream media doesn't want to cover it. Elon Musk, they're hating him for what he's doing. And I don't think he's the world's most brilliant guy, but he sure is screwing with them. He sure is revealing exactly who they are and what they're about. Let's do this. Let's get to one of your questions out there, and you can get them on in there. Submit them in down below. And Jolene will pop it up right like this. We got Mikey G in the house. And he says, China is sending their masses, infected, of course, into the world before their Lunar New Year. Are you surprised? No, I wouldn't be surprised at all. Right? If this is so bad, if China's losing control, why haven't they shut down air traffic coming out of China into the United States? We saw this back in 2020. They said there's some kind of crazy outbreak, some kind of bat soup issue. Remember that? Wuhan bat stew from the marketplace down there. We've got some problems, because those people eat everything, fucking frogs and turtles and slimy things that grow in the water and bats, right? And the world went, that's fucking disgusting for one, but okay. Well, it turns out it didn't come from the market, right? There's no bat soup market that caused everything. But yeah, the government, Dr. Fauci, the whole country just said, that's fine. Now, look, President of the United States, all of his advisors, they could have done something and they didn't because they weren't being advised by, the smart people. But the president does have the authority to shut down air traffic, does he or does he not? Right? Americans, you can come back to your country. The rest of the world, stay the fuck out if it's that bad and that scary. Well, they're telling us it's that bad and that scary again. Yet we've got what? They're letting people in. They're letting them fly out of China and right into America. How perfect is that? They're letting them pour across the border from Mexico into our country. How nice is that? They want an outbreak, folks. They want to scare the hell out of everyone. They want people dying in the streets. They want them falling over in buses. They want them crashing on the sidewalks. They want a big public display of, oh my God, I'm going to die. That's what they want. I mean, what do you think they want? I agree with you, Mikey G. I agree. This is a form of warfare, in my opinion. It truly is. Biological germ warfare is done on a one-on-one basis. Right? Who is the best bomb? What is the best? It's one that isn't detected. That's the best bomb. Now, I remember getting on an airplane, folks, when the COVID news came out before the lockdown started. I remember going to get on an airplane, and there was 4 guys, and they were dressed in traditional Asian clothing, or you could say Oriental clothing if they were from the Orient. Where is the fucking Orient anyway? Where does the Orient begin and the Orient end? I don't fucking know. And where does Asia end and Asia begin? Asia's a continent. Asia's a continent. How can that describe the way someone looks? You look Asian. You mean I look like the fucking continent? Really? It'd be like saying you look North American. It'd be really. I thought I looked more European. Anyways, these fucking people, they went to get on a plane and everyone in line was scared. They were just wide-eyed, just like saucers staring at these 4 Chinese guys who had masks. Well, they could have been Laotian or Vietnamese or something, but whatever. Just traveling around the world. People scared to death. They're going to push it. Are you scared to death or are you prepared? Do you have horse paste? Do you have zinc, vitamin D, and those other letters, right? Do you have what it takes to make sure you've killed this crap? If you get it. If it comes back and they start pushing it. Tell you what, I've got enough horse paste to choke a horse. to borrow that old expression. That's right. I want to talk about this. This is a big one. And every topic I talk about, even though it's satire, because this channel is all satire, right? We take a chance on getting silenced again. Well, Carrie Lake, the gubernatorial candidate for Arizona, she was soundly defeated by Katie Hobbs, who hid in her basement the entire time. Now, unlike the GOP, Carrie Lake is fighting for freedom. And she has filed a petition to transfer her lawsuit right to the Supreme Court, right to the Arizona Supreme Court. The question I have is why wasn't this done day fucking one? Why wouldn't you file in court and then the same day file a petition with the Supreme Court? Now, I don't like how this game is being played out. But I know that they are fighting for freedom. She is fighting for freedom, unlike the grand old party, unlike the Republican rhinos, folks. She is fighting for freedom. And this is the fight for our lives. It is. This is about our republic and the fight for our lives. It is on. Are you ready? Honestly, are you ready for what is coming? Because we've got a lot more coming, folks. I'm trying to cover it all and stay completely caught up every day. I do 0 Dark 30, and then I come here with you guys, and we do the monologue and the Q&A, and then we take a day off, day of rest on Saturday, and then come back Sunday Night Live. In fact, we had a good turnout last night on Sunday Night Live. We had good support. I drank a lot of scotch with you guys, and you supported the channel financially. You supported it with questions. You supported it with good discussion amongst ourselves, and we got a good solid 2 hours. And then, folks, you get up and you do it again. That's what I do every single day, every single week. I follow this program. So consistently, I'll be back again next Sunday. But I'd love to have you guys here all during the week as well. So, Jolene, we got another question. Let's pop it on up there and see who's up next. We have Matt, sir. He says, I truly appreciate all of the hard work that you do to support this community. Your videos are spot on and incredibly entertaining too. Stay safe, and here is to an ever more amazing 2023. Right? Thank you very much, Matt. Now, here's the deal. Right? I don't want to toast SHTF, but I want to toast our effort. Maybe a toast is the wrong thing to do. But maybe, right, here is to a more amazing 2023 and fighting back. That, right, I think is what you're trying to say. Right? It is a show of strength by being here. It is a show of resolution. Right? We are resolute in fighting this new world order. Right? We're not disassociating with people who want freedom and liberty because it's so scary, right? You don't want to offend anybody. Folks, if that's what it means to be free, then I will be free and offend the fuck out of everyone. If that's what it means, right? Because guess what? No matter what you do, you always offend these scumbags on the left. So you may as well stand up, show your face, speak up, and just insult the shit out of them, upset them. You may as well do it because they hate your guts. It's coming. Yeah, I'll be entertaining. I will be spot on. And I'm going to give this community we have, thepreparedmind.com and the rsyndicate.com and everyone else, the preparedmind.club, right? And every other channel out there that's affiliated with us, that's listed, right? A lot of people are out there that I know that are getting prepared, that are helping others. And you're a huge part of it. You are. You share information with family. You share information with friends. You share information with coworkers, or you should be, right? And if they don't want to hear it, fine, fuck them. You gave them a chance. You tried waking them up. That's all we can do. At this point, it's really all we can do. And I don't quit. Right? I have not quit on my fellow countrymen, even though I think a lot of them are complete idiots. Right? Unbelievable what's going on. Well, Kevin McCarthy. I'm going to jump right all over this, right? Once again, Kevin McCarthy wants to be Speaker of the House. He wants to be the head of the GOP, right? Well, he's supposedly caved, right, on the Republican rebels out there, the kamikazes, right, that are making these demands. Well, trust me on this. If they say, well, Kevin McCarthy, you're going to give in to all our demands, then, and what are these demands? Here's one that, if just one Republican wants him out of the speakership, then one Republican has the power and he will step down. Trust me, folks, Kevin McCarthy will shit all over anyone once he is Speaker of the House. He will get revenge on all of these people who aren't supporting him if he is elected to that position. Trust me on this. Watch what this guy does. He will do and say anything to get put into that position. Do you think he's really going to go after Nancy Pelosi and censor her or impeach her? Do you think he's going to impeach Biden? Remember who Biden is, folks. Biden abandoned our enemies. I'm sorry, he abandoned our allies in Afghanistan. Abandoned them. He abandoned the people of Afghanistan. He abandoned American citizens who were working in Afghanistan. He left the military, pulled up under orders, and just left. And left Americans and said, figure out how to get out of this fucking country that's being overrun now by Taliban, the enemy, who now have $85 billion in American equipment, hardware, explosive, missiles, tanks, helicopters, rockets, drones, etc. The man should be impeached. He should be tried for treason, and he should get a visit to the gallows. That's right. He should discover exactly what a real noose looks like up front. That's my opinion. And it may be unpopular to some people, but I don't give a shit. The man's a fucking traitor and he cost lives. Marines were killed when they were bombed by a suicide bomber that just crashed in at the airport. That's what those people are about, folks. You're just going to give in to them, right? Unbelievable. This whole thing with Ray Epps is continuing to bother me. Why he isn't arrested. You would think the FBI would just arrest Ray Epps, the guy who was fomenting violence, trying to get people to act violently. Not arrested ever. Right? In fact, the media and everyone were just leave Ray alone. Just leave him alone. I mean, his attorney, right, was an FBI agent for 9 years. Right? It just looks like Ray Epps has FBI written all over him. You want what? You want accountability for the FBI? Not going to happen. You want accountability for Joe Biden? Not going to happen. You think Kevin McCarthy's going to do a fucking thing about any of this? Do you think he's going to start his own? You think he's going to start his own January 6th investigation? Or do you think he's just going to kind of sweep all that shit away? Just lift the rug and sweep that shit right under it and just try and forget about it. Yeah. You bet. Unbelievable. Okay, Jolene, let's do this right before the showtime is over. We have some more super chats that aren't super chats. These are just regular people who have subscribed on the premium side. It's like a super chat because you pay $2 a month. Anyways, Uman says the libtards that scream boycott the loudest aren't the ones spending the majority of money at those companies. I think Uman is talking about companies like, well, Jimmy John's or My Pillow. Remember that shit when they tried kicking My Pillow out? Right? They kicked him out of Bed Bath & Beyond. Right? The My Pillow, Mike Lindell kicked him out of there. Well, Bed Bath & Beyond went under. They kicked him out of Target. Sales went down. Mike Lindell just started advertising on his own, and his sales either maintained or even went up in areas I watched. Right? People support fighting against these scumbags, as Uman calls them, libtards. And God bless you, Uman, trying to make it back. Folks, he's having a hell of a time. He'll be back. The mobile command center is going to be docked, I would think, by tonight. Safely docked up in, well, it's actually within occupied territory. In occupied territory. All right, Jolene, what do we have next? Who's up? And we got Who's Your Life and Who's Your Daddy, buddy? And he's got a statement. He says, maybe they're conditioning us, patriots, us Americans, maybe they're conditioning us not to believe the plandemic. So when they release a real one, the bodies will hit the floor like the boy who cried wolf. I tell you what, Hoosier, that's really been a big concern. It really is. That's been a big concern. Almost as big a concern to me as that bottle of scotch you got me that's now gone. Anyways, no. Back to what if. Yeah, they've been screaming wolf, wolf, wolf on Cerveza bug, on the Omicron, on the Delta, right? They've been screaming variant, 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 and we're all going to die. But then they release a real one, something really nasty. Well, the problem is if they release one that's really nasty, they can't control it. They can't control it. Now, I'm going to contend, I'm going to stick to my guns on my opinion that someone let the dog out and it started barking during the pandemic. When they said HCQ, when they said, right, horse paste will kill cerveza bug, kill coronas, quicker than a mariachi band at a Mexican wedding. They will kill the coronas off, right? There's always a back door. These people will not make a vial of extremely deadly, right? They won't make a vial of extremely deadly juice unless they have a way to kill it to protect themselves, because you can't take a chance. Remember that lady that was locked in her house, locked in her bathroom, wearing 2 fucking masks, would not leave her house. They would drop stuff off. She'd get it on the porch, go back into her house, go back into her bathroom, shut the door, and she was living in her bathroom, folks. She still got cerveza bug. She still got it. Right? When it's out there, it's just kind of floating around, right? It can find you. Somehow, magically, right? They can't take a chance. So there's got to be something. That's why I say you better have your horse paste, right? You need to have your Z-Pack. The preparedmind.club has a complete listing category. You got a complete cerveza bug medical system, right? You have the ability to contact doctors, physicians through the preparedmind.club, real medical professionals with actual medical licenses that can get you the medications you need. If this thing that's coming out, Hoosier, if it comes out of China and it really is deadly, you need to have your medication, right? Being prepared, right? Food, water, shelter, clothing, medicine. You've got to have your own medicine. That is part of being prepared now, right? Antibiotics, yes. First aid kits, yes. Horse paste, yes. You need anti-malarial, yes. Right? Anti-malarial, folks. You don't want malaria either, but anti-malarial seems to kill off cerveza bug. It is coming. They're going to try and push it. Now, I really think, Hoosier, that it's not going to be people like you and me or Uman and Jolene. It's not going to be Cottage Farm. It's not going to be Bonnie Blue. It's not going to be Nikki. It's not going to be John. It's not going to be John, and it certainly won't be John that is going to be rolling around choking on their own slobber in the middle of the street. You know who that's going to be? It's going to be people who took the Jim Jones juice, not once but twice. And then they went out and got boosted, not once but twice, and maybe even 3 times by this winter. Once we get into heavy-duty winter, they're going to keep pushing this booster shit. And if it does make it over here, folks, this new variant from China, you can bet your ass, literally bet your ass, that the people who die from it are going to be people who have compromised immune systems. Essentially, they've got early stage AIDS. They burned up their immune system by putting mRNA crap in themselves. Unbelievable. And I'm going to end it on this. January 2nd, folks. Outside of a courthouse in Texas, where they're arguing about the Title 42, keep illegal immigrants out of here, right? The illegal immigrants are protesting, folks. They're pretending to be crucified on a cross. That is a disgusting comparison. Criminals protesting being held accountable for their crimes by mimicking Jesus on the cross. They're not being nailed up. They're not being tortured in one of the most horrific punishments ever invented. It's unbelievable the way these people think, folks. It's unbelievable. I wish there was something that was so sacred to the left that to mimic it, to mock it, to take it away would kill them. Oh, wait. Yeah, we've got their holy sacrament, folks, right? Christians have the sacrifice that Jesus made, right? The leftists, what do they have? They've got abortion. That's their holy sacrament. Go out, be promiscuous, get knocked up, and go have an abortion. Kill that baby. That's exactly what they're all about, folks. And so, yeah, I guess that mocking decent, moral people and their religious beliefs, they have no problem doing it because they're seeing us being moral and decent and wanting to stop them. It's a war, folks. It's SHTF, and it's on. Chance favors the prepared mind is yours. Godspeed. Semper Fi. Prep to action. Get prepared.